right, defeating the system. Why constantly exposing them keeps the system alive. Before commenting, a clarification. This isn't denial or pretending power structures don't exist. It's about understanding how attention actually works and how endlessly reacting to what we oppose often strengthens it rather than dismantles it. I'm not here to debate names, fractions or theories. I'm inviting reflection on where your focus goes and what that focus feeds. Take what resonates and leave the rest. I know I've touched on this topic before, but I think a lot of it has not landed in the so-called truther movement or the awakened movement, whatever you like to call it. But I think it's important that we revisit this subject and reflect on it, because it is the key to everything, I believe. Right, so here we go. Here's the thing people still don't want to hear. The so-called control system doesn't survive because it's hidden. It survives because it's constantly fed. Every "have you seen what they're doing now?" every repost about elites and cabals and agendas and fear timelines, that isn't awakening people. It's circulating oxygen. Think of it like a fire, and I've done this analogy before. You don't put out a fire by describing it repeatedly, filming it non-stop, warning everyone how dangerous it is, throwing more wood on it for awareness. You put it out by removing fuel and cutting off the oxygen. Choosing not to engage isn't denial. It's not bypassing. It's not participation in the energy that sustains it. Awareness doesn't require obsession. Discernment doesn't require amplification. So when people accuse me of, "Oh, Liz, you're putting your head in the sand, you're doing the ostrich thing and everything," I think what it is that they're really uncomfortable with this, that I'm no longer feeding the same emotional loop, fear, outrage, urgency. That keeps the system alive. You don't escape a controlled reality by fighting it. You exit it by no longer resonating with it, with resonating with the conditions that allow it to exist. That's how probability shifts. That's how timelines starve, and that's how systems actually end. You see what I'm saying here? This constant obsession of, "Oh, Keir Starmer's done this, or he's doing this, or the World Economic Forum are proposing this and they're going ahead, doesn't matter what we say, it's going to happen anyway." And you know what all it does? It kind of puts a fear into the collective. And so the collective are bringing this forward by the attention that they're giving it. So for each post that we post on Facebook, for each video that we record, for each doom scrolling video that we send to all our contacts, we think that we're actually serving a greater good by doing all that. No, we're not. We're falling into the trap of actually doing their work for them, whoever they may be. And I'm really, really kind of at the point where I'm removing myself from these so-called awakened communities, because they're perpetuating it. You starve a fire by taking away its food source, or you stop feeding the beast by taking away its food source. What's its food source? Us, our energy, our attention. I don't know how else I can kind of communicate this to others. And I know that my platform doesn't reach a lot of people. It doesn't. I don't have that presence on social media. I don't have that presence in my YouTube channel. I don't have that presence in my TikTok channel or my Instagram. I'm not one that lots of people follow. But I think this is an important message that needs to be spread far and wide. Stop it with the doom scrolling. Stop it with sharing that this is happening here and that's happening there, and the war in Gaza here, and the political struggles here, and the immigrants are coming in here, and all the rest of it. Because what you're doing, you're keeping it alive. You're keeping that fire, that intensity alive. You're giving it life. For something to have an end, for something to finish, it needs to be starved. And what we're doing, we're not starving anything. We're just on this perpetual merry-go-round of sharing doom and gloom and kind of saying it's because what awakened people do. No, it isn't. What awakened, really aligned spiritual people do is they do not feed that. They live in their sovereignty. They live in their truth. They live their life with love, and they don't feed the negative with more sharing. You don't share negativity. You don't share this is what's happening in our world, so let's kind of share it over and over again. Because what you're doing is you're feeding the beast. You starve it. You take away that attention, that focus, your everyday attention, your everyday focus, instead of being, and your energy, instead of it being funneled into that, it needs to be taken away from it. The minute we all learn that as a collective consciousness, as a group of a so-called awakened and aware individuals, each individual makes up a collective. So what we're doing is kind of perpetuating our situation. So I don't know in what other way I can kind of put this across to people, and I don't know how strongly I can put it so that people begin to share this. You need to begin to share this message with the awakened community, with the truther community, with the spiritually aware community, whatever you like to call it. This is the message that needs to go forward so that we change the timeline, we change the events, because the events are what they are because we are fueling them. Do you not see? It's a catch-22 situation. Until you break that cycle, it will carry on the same all the time. If it resonates with you, fair enough. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But remember this, we all have free will. And I'm not categorically telling you I'm taking your free will away from you. I'm just letting you realise that you can use your free will in a different way so that we end up on a different timeline where the so-called inevitable isn't inevitable. It's not inevitable. We don't have to go down that train track. We don't have to go down that timeline. But as long as you hold on to it tightly and you keep on regurgitating what they want you to regurgitate and share with everyone else, that's the timeline that we're going through. And that's the timeline that you'll experience. I'm not experiencing that timeline, not because I'm burying my head in the sand or anything like that. I recognise how it works. I recognise how this focusing thing and giving you energy to something actually has a real impact on your experience and what you see in life. So let's start sharing this message with everyone. Let's not give the energy and the time or anything to this kind of, vomiting of this kind of negative kind of, this is what's happening, and so let's share it. No, that's not how it works. That's not how we change things. We change things by feeding ourselves energetically and starving the beast and no longer throwing fuel on the fire. We are the accelerant that's making this happen. Do you understand that? If you go and you set fire to something, you need an accelerant, don't you? If there's a case of, what's the word I'm looking for? When you purposefully set fire to a building or something like that, you need to have something to let that fire thrive. What's happening as we're being used as the accelerant? You have to throw water on that straight away. Now, do it. Okay. Hopefully the message has got through. If it hasn't, we'll carry on the same timeline. You don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. None of us want that to happen.